On the 15th of March 1931, the sealing ship SS Viking lay nosed into an ice floe near the Horse Islands off Newfoundland, Canada. The crew readied for sleep. Some dozed, others chatted to pass the hours, trading stories and smoke. In the saloon, filmmaker Louis Varick Frissell bent over a table, sketching neat warning placards he meant to pin up at once, urging strict care near the crates of blasting powder and reels of flammable film stacked aboard. Twilight hushed the decks, lanterns ticking softly. But the calm would be ripped apart by a sudden baffling blast. Among the deadliest in filmmaking history up to that day. Born in 1903, Louis Varick Frissell picked up a camera early. At first, it was only one hobby among many, a rich young man's curiosity. Privileged, he could chase whatever called to him, and he did, cataloging his days in still photos, then in flickering reels. Only in 1925 did play turn to purpose. He finished and screened his first true documentary to modest but encouraging notice. So, at the time, he was volunteering in Labrador with a mission run by Dr. Wilfred Grenfell, the famed medical missionary. Frissell found Grenfell's grit contagious and took deep pride in hauling supplies, tending outposts, and helping raise rough infrastructure along the ice-bitten peninsula. He saw in Grenfell a mentor. So when the doctor urged him to scout the Hamilton River by canoe, Frissell was eager, more than eager to go. The aim married adventure to purpose: film the river, chart hazards, bring proof back. He did. The long, solitary journey yielded stark footage, later cut into his first short documentary, The Lure of Labrador. Released in 1925 to warm notices, it marked a turning point, curiosity hardening into vocation. From there, his bond with Newfoundland and Labrador deepened, as did his resolve to film place he loved. In the years that followed, Frissell took whatever film work he could find, learning craft by doing, but Labrador stayed with him. By 1930, he'd made up his mind. A full-length picture rooted in that country, part drama, part testament, would carry audiences north and show the raw splendor and risk, and the grit of the sealers and settlers who carved out a life there. He wanted it raw. Frissell raised backing on a gamble he'd be paid only if the picture earned. Paramount stepped in to distribute and paired him with a seasoned director. The film took the title, White Thunder. Its plot riding a sealing voyage where two men, rivals for the same woman, sign on together. As storms and ice close in, jealousy turns lethal. One man tries to murder the other, until disaster forces them to depend on each other, face the truth, and find a hard truce. Shot for grit, it chased authenticity on ice, on rough decks, beneath iron skies. White Thunder promised a Hollywood first. Chasing true atmosphere, they would record sound on location magnetic wire recorders in the cold, not a studio. For a feature-length picture, no one had dared it. The bet. Audiences would hear wind, ice, and deck right where it happened. They staged much of the work in Quidi Vidi, a protected harbor near St. John's. But for the roar and peril he wanted, Frissell pushed farther north, insisting on real runs in Labrador. Against stark headlands and pack ice, the cameras caught scenes both gorgeous and grim images no backlot could conjure. Only the wild north could give. Early 1931, test screenings drew tepid applause. Frissell wasn't pleased either. He saw the flaw. The cut leaned too hard on the triangle, too light on what mattered: the country itself, the danger and labor that gave the story weight. The land was the lead, The romance was truly filler. Frissell chose to rebuild the picture, a choice cemented when Paramount passed on the cut. He would return with fewer hands, shoot harder, wilder material in Labrador, and thread it into the story. The aim, a final film that honored the place he loved, its sweep, and its risk rather than the neatness of a studio romance. So he went back. He'd bet on fresh image, ice-breaking, fog closing, men on the lines. With a lean crew, he secured passage on the sealing ship SS Viking as it sailed for the Horse Islands off Newfoundland. Working aboard a real hunt would put him in the grit and rhythm he needed, the kind of lived detail that could rescue a faltering cut and turn spectacle into truth. The run began smoothly, with the usual jolts. Early on, 2 boys were found hiding below. No return to port, the captain kept them aboard, to be handed to police on the Viking's return. Until then, they ate with the crew, slept in spare bunks, and, like everyone else, worked where told. 2 wide-eyed passengers in a hard school at sea. Their pranks faded into routine. On March 14, they rigged a crude screening room and ran old reels for the men. Laughter, hoots, quiet pride, the pictures played. For a while, the Viking felt festive and warm. The voyage against odds was an easy run. On March 15, the Viking locked into ice near Horse Islands for the night. About 150 souls, sealers, film crew, 2 stowaways slipped into routine. Pipes and quiet talk, pages turning in bunks. Below, the ship's Newfoundland cat padded slow circles, a dark shape in lamplight. Frissell stayed in the saloon, pen on scrap. He'd seen men smoke by powder and volatile reels. He'd found bad flares. He drew blunt warning signs, bold letters, and told mates to heave the faulty flares overboard at dawn. Outside, ice groaned. Inside, lanterns ticked. The stove breathed. The first concussion felt like a giant's fist. Viking lurched, pitching sailors from hammocks. A second, then a third, ripped hull and deck. Planks flew, fire met air and roared. The world tilted, men tumbled into flame or out onto ice, shouting names the wind erased. Heat took the masts. Bulkheads blew. In moments, the ship was a furnace, orange glare on white. Some leapt, breaking bones on the flow. Others clawed to the rails and dropped, stunned, alive. A few never woke. The cause stayed uncertain. Spark, flare, cigarette, but the verdict stood: ruin. Far off, windows rattled. Towns thought earthquake until someone saw the burning silhouette and rang the alarm. Crews mustered boats, axes, blankets. On the floe, at least 50 survivors chose the only warmth left: movement. They set off toward the Horse Islands, dragging the injured, praying the ice held. Others stayed, huddling behind wreckage, fighting damp matches with numb hands. 3 men, blown onto a moving pan, drifted into the dark, no helm, no food, a torn plank for cover. They rode 2 days under gray skies before help found them. Eyes rhymed, lips blue, breath a thread but stubborn. One was wireless operator Clayton L. King. The blast mangled him. Infection followed. Surgeons took both legs to save his life. He lived. Later he wrote it down, how Viking burned, how ice sounded under footfalls, how quiet the world becomes when wind is the only voice and horizon gives nothing. By count, 28 were gone, killed by blasts, by fire, or by the cold after. Frissell was among them, as were most of his crew. 1 stowaway died. Cat, the ship's dog, didn't make it off. The vessel broke and slipped beneath, leaving char and scattered timber clawed into the flow. Afterward, the film changed name. The Viking, no longer White Thunder, opened with a foreword by Dr. Wilfred Grenfell praising Frissell's courage, love for the North, and the price he paid. Publicists leaned on tragedy. Critics praised images and hard-won sound. faulted the plot that framed them. Box office was modest. What endured wasn't the triangle on paper, but the night a ship bloomed into fire on ice. The Viking's explosion remains the deadliest single loss, tied to a film production, a line in cinema's ledger written in heat and smoke. Frisell chased truth. The North asked everything.